Hello. Happy Martin Luther King Day. We are back in the building. And today we're going to be working on doing part two of the audio that we listened to Sascha Riley. Sascha Riley's account, horrible account, of his experiences on the farm with rich, um, awful, demon possessed people. Hey, Linda. How you doing? We're back. I told y'all we were coming back to do part two. Now, I don't know how much we're going to listen to. Linda, if you would share the live and then hit copy link, share, copy link, share, copy link. Do it about 5 times so some more of our friends can get in here on this fantastic Martin Luther King Day. My daughter and I and the grandbaby went out to eat tacos, and they were good, but I didn't get tacos. I got nachos. And I didn't know that the nachos not only had beef. Hey, pretty Bree, how you doing, Bessie Boo? Not only did it have beef, but it had a lot of chicken. Bree, could you hit share and copy link and do it about 5 times for me? Just hit share, copy link, share, copy link, share, copy link so our friends can get in here. Because even though I'm not struggle streaming today, not at all. I got my information. We got the audio. I'm doing good, and we're on go. I'm ready to go right now. But YouTube is doing something funky, and I need you guys to help me out so we can have this fantastic engagement here on YouTube. So anyway, so after we ate tacos, then we took my grandbaby down memory lane, and we rode around and showed her. It was me and the grandbaby and my daughter, her mother. So we rode around and showed Ashlyn all of the different places. Yep, guys, they kicked us off. They kicked us off because we don't have enough viewers. So we drove around and showed her all the places that her mother has lived since she was a child. We showed her where we lived when Monet was born and all that. It was great. We had a great time. And then I showed her some of the places that I lived here in Raleigh, North Carolina. So it was great. And then we went to get ice cream. And then there are, let me see, 6 or 7 beautiful, and when I say beautiful, beautiful homes that I've been watching. Can y'all, okay, it's 12 people here. Bestie Boo, Boss Dog was talking about you, and he keep changing his name. What do you mean? He was talking about me. These 6 beautiful houses. I knew that they were going to knock my daughter's socks off. I absolutely knew. And I wanted to expose my granddaughter to that level of awesomeness. And when we finally got down there for them to see the houses, because the one that I love the most is the first one, and then there are 5 past that point. And so when we got to the first one that was over to the left, my daughter said, "Oh my God." And then we saw the other ones, and she was pleasantly pleased with those 2. But then when we turned around and came back down the street and saw the other ones, and then again, the first one that we both love. Can I get some thumbs? Can y'all like this video? My goodness, you have an absolutely beautiful smile. Thank you so much. You know, somebody let me know every day that they are hating on me. But you're not. And thank you for being here. Can you guys like the live, please? I need some likes so we can stay on screen, okay? All right. So, oh my goodness, no, we just had almost had a struggle streaming moment. Did you see that? Did you see that? We almost failed. All right, hold on. Let me get it together. Okay, is it going to, wait a minute. It's going to stay. All right, y'all give me a minute. Give me a minute. Okay, let me. Thank you so much for being here. Jamal, thank you for being here. Bree said, Cheryl, get it together. Okay, Bree, I'm trying. Hold on. You just don't understand. All right, let's see. Get it together now. All right. So, anyway, let me just tell you this last little bit. And so when we were leaving the area, my daughter, she threw her head back and she said, "Oh my God, that house is amazing, Mama." I said, "It is," and I knew it was going to knock your socks off, okay? Great positive energy. Please keep it up. You made my day. All right, well, listen. Likes should match the views, right? Y'all don't understand. A lot of people, I'm just going to say this before we get into the commentary, because we really have substance here on this channel. There's good substance. What we're talking about is a powerful topic, and the people that are into it are into it. You know what I'm saying? And I have a job to do, and I do it beautifully, and I know that. But I do have haters and people that wish that they have as much confidence as me. They might have way more degrees than me. They may have more money than me and all of that. But they just don't have the personality and the confidence to be able to do what I do. And I understand that. And those are the ones that go in my comment section and leave nasty comments. No, 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 no. I'm going to toot my own horn, darling. I have to. That's called good self-esteem, okay? All right. So here we go with the audio, y'all. Let's listen.
You're extremely brave and you behave extremely strong, like a warrior. And I just want to stop and say it's important to me to say that because a lot of folks, wouldn't even survive such trauma, but you've survived and you conduct yourself with dignity and gracefully and I it's important to me to say that. I hope you know that. I hope you have a sense of your own honor and chivalrousness, especially what you told me in terms of drugs they used on you and how they lured you drug to behave monstrous towards other kids. I understand the context.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I can remember some arm of law enforcement showing me video of me harming one of the people that they were filming me with. Now, I don't know how that came about, whether they drugged me.
Are you guys still here? Somebody comment in the comment section. Let me know if you're still here. I don't know if I have to start the live over again. Let me know, because sometimes YouTube will do that.
And I lost my mind, or they told me to do it. I don't know the circumstances, but I can remember being in that room and them saying, "Well, you did this."
Yes, thank you.
And it may have not even been law enforcement. It may have been, like the people that were running that. But
thank you.
I can remember being really upset because I had no recollection of having done that. It was me in the video, and I was beating somebody or a girl senseless. And
so basically what he just said, that they gave him Scorpio in the building, Zoe Premier 305. Maggie K says, "I'm here." Linda says, "Yes, thank you." He was basically saying that they drugged him and that they were filming it while he was beating the snuff out of another kid. You know what I mean? And I'm sure that he feel bad about it, but they drugged him so that he would do awful things, some of the same things that were done to him that he would do to others. And he admits that. Listen.
I didn't count her or anything like that, but I
Yeah.
and I have a feeling This part I can't prove because I only have my own experiences. But what the whole thing seems to be is that they first abuse you, then they get you on film abusing others, and now they have you trapped as well.
Yeah.
So you can't talk about the abuse that they did to you. If they want you to be a legacy victim, somebody that they can use in the future, well, then they've got to get you on tape doing monstrous things to other people as well, because now they have the leverage to keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, no, and you know what? You're exactly right. That's exactly the tactic. And the tactic is insidious because have you ever heard of the torture technique
Listen to this.
a lot of occult practitioners use? It's called
She said this is behavior of cult practitioners. That's what this is a tactic that cults use. That these people were using on these children. It's just terrible.
inversion torture, inversion magic.
Inversion
Magic. Sorcery
torture.
is just
Thank you so much
smoke
for the
and
heart.
mirrors, nonsense, deception techniques. But it's sort of inversion technique where to try to linguistically manipulate the victims to try to get the victims in a position where the victims doubt whether the victims, are good or not.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the case with a lot of the Republicans you mentioned. Like you said, Clarence Thomas and Lindsey Graham were at these parties. You can't remember if Lindsey Graham and Clarence Thomas participated. And it's sort of a question of, did they participate? Were they blackmailed because they were there, attended the parties, but they didn't participate? Can you tell me much more about Clarence Thomas and Lindsey Graham?
I know the least about him. The only reason that I can remember him is because he was a black man. And I'm sorry, but
he's mentioning Clarence Thomas, one of the Supreme Court judges. And Lindsey Graham, I think Lindsey Graham is, I don't know if he's part of the Senate or the Congress. I'm not sure. But he remembers those people. Listen.
That club is pretty much just white folks. So having a black person there was very...
He said he certainly remembers Clarence Thomas because this organization, these people, that club was white people. And so Clarence Thomas, being a big, dark-skinned black man, he stood out.
So he stood out. But the only thing that I can really say is that I remembered him being there, and then I remember what a big deal it was in our household when he got confirmed onto the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
He said, did y'all hear what he just said? He said it was a big deal in his house when he got on with the Supreme Court. It was a big deal. And could you imagine being a child, knowing that these people have done the most horrible things to you, and you look on television and they're in Washington in these high positions, and everybody thinks that they're great, fantastic, morally upright people, and they are not. What's up, Wayne? Good evening.
Was excited about that because of how high up he was. Now, I can't swear. I may have been assaulted by Clarence Thomas, but I cannot swear to that. If he did assault me, then it was not to the level of something that scared me to the point where I needed to remember it, if that's a good way to put that, which rose to that, and Andy Biggs rose to that, and Jim Jordan rose to that because he was dangerous to me because I could keep most people away from me with my fists, but, he was a good wrestler, so, he scared me.
Frank, if I have to delete one more of your comments, I'm going to block you. It's up to you.
That sense that this is a person that I can't, that I can't keep away from me with my fists. Lindsey Graham, I am fairly sure he has assaulted me, but I just can't put my hand on a Bible and swear to that.
Yeah.
I know that he was there. I can remember it. He just like Jim Jordan, he has very distinct mannerisms, and his voice is a little unusual as well. So I could remember his voice, I could remember his mannerisms, and then obviously how he looks. Um, so I can put it in there, but I just can't. I can't say he did this or he did that exactly. I just can't.
Okay. So
I wish that I could provide more information on that because I think some things went on, but that's just not enough for me to point a finger and make an accusation. But he was there. I can tell you that.
yeah, well, that's enough, and I know that
It is enough.
you know some sorts of interviews. We can look at a different time.
Because in my
to see
opinion,
if the-
whether you're there putting your hands on children or you're there watching other people do it, it's the same. Whether you're an observer or you're a participant, it's the same to me.
any more information you remember, but what you do remember, I just want you to know what you remember to know that what you remember is extremely important and is extremely helpful. I know you want to be able to remember more, and memories are in there. And, you know, I just want to approach the situation delicately because, you know,
And she has to approach the situation delicately because I don't know if there's anybody here who understands about childhood trauma, and that when these things are happening to children, the brain does certain things to protect the children, and sometimes they lose memory, and also they suffer with suppressed memory, and also they speak from a lack of emotions because when it happened, uh, the brain kind of lifts them up in a sense and kind of protects them and kind of separate them from what's going on with the body. So it's just a lot to it. A lot of people don't really understand it because they say, well, if he's talking, like why can't we hear any emotion? This is common for victims of childhood trauma and sexual abuse. This is a common thing. Okay?
Some of the other memories are just vague. You know, I can and I have been very careful too not to reach out further because there are some other names that I could mention that I believe were there that I know for a fact that my parents talked about, but I don't have a clear enough recollection of anything. Like I can tell you 100% sure that they talked about Vladimir Putin, but I do not believe he was ever at one of those parties that I was at. But his name was brought up.
Now, I want to say something about him mentioning Vladimir Putin because I Googled today when Vladimir Putin became president or dictator, and it was the year 2000. And then I asked, what was Putin doing in the 1980s or the mid 1980s? And he was a special agent, like a spy of some sort. And there are people who are saying that Sascha Riley's account, they don't believe it because some of the things that he's saying, I'm quote them by saying the math is not mathing. But I don't recall listening to Sascha Riley say that Putin was the president at that time. He's saying that Trump and some of the other people were speaking, were talking about Vladimir Putin. And so the content creators are saying, and the different independent news people are saying, well, Putin was the president, wasn't president. Putin don't have to be the fucking president. Use your brain. He didn't have to be the president. Trump at the time wasn't the president, but he was a powerful person. Okay? Epstein wasn't a president, but he was a powerful person. That don't mean that Trump and Epstein didn't know Vladimir Putin. It doesn't mean that. So I don't understand what people's issue is with that. That's crazy to me. They could have very well have been already acquainted with him already for whatever reason.
during the 1980s,
Yes.
Okay.
Vladimir Putin. I don't know even when he ascended to the presidency, but I remember the name because it's so unusual. Now, at that point, he may have just been, one of the Russian oligarchs or whatever, but his name came up, and I remember just because it's an unusual name, Vladimir Putin, Um, but I don't believe he was ever there. So that is like, I don't know, there are other names like that too.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about
I
Putin.
remember Clinton's name being brought up, but I don't ever remember seeing it.
So Clinton was mentioned, but you never saw Clinton.
Not that
Thank
I can
you.
recall.
KGB.
And that's another thing too. I may have had interactions with additional people, but during some of them, I was so drugged out of my mind, I don't really remember.
And this
what
is
happened.
another thing. So Sasha Riley is telling everybody over and over and over and over again that he has been given drugs and he's a child. So I don't know what part of that people are not getting. I really don't.
Yeah. When you heard them talk about Putin, so it was at one of the parties at one of the farms, do you remember what they were saying about Putin?
Just that he was some sort of like foreigner that was very important. I didn't know any more. The name was just unusual, and they mentioned his name. They kind of had fun saying his name. Vladimir. Does he like to go by Vlad or this or that? But the meeting with that person, I don't think ever materialized. I think it was just something that was discussed and never happened. Now, if he has other connections, he very well may. That's possible. But I can just remember there were, at those parties, there were people that had strange accents. But that's it. That's all I could say. I couldn't point and say, well, this person was from Spain or this person was from Portugal. I have no idea. But what I do know for a fact is not every person at those parties was American.
Yeah.
I know that's not a lot, but again,
Did you ask my daughter?
I have a
Are y'all still here? Monet! Excuse me, y'all. Hold on. Can you look on YouTube and see is my stream still going? Yes. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
question with Trump. I mean, with Putin. Did you get the sense that the party attendees, that the clients were interested in Putin? There was something they wanted from Putin. They thought they could get money from Putin, influence from Putin. Did you have any sense of that?
The only sense that I had was that this was the rich people, regardless of where they were from.
Yeah.
At this point in my child brain, I knew that there were rich people, and those people got to do whatever they wanted, and then there were poor people like me, and those people, that was the dynamic. So, that's them say anything about blackmailing and stuff like that. But I can remember them showing me a video of me doing bad stuff, and then I can remember people telling me that if I ever talked about it, what I had done was illegal too. And a lot of that was just bullshit because I was just a kid and they were making me.
I don't know about y'all, but what he's saying now about what he's speaking of, about how they run the farms and how the rich people think and how they do things. They're doing that now in Washington. Everybody is asking, what's wrong with the Dems? Why are they not fighting back? Why won't they do something? Now, there are people who are doing things, right? But it's a lot of people that have dirty hands. A lot of people have been bought already. A lot of people are afraid and have been shaken down. It's a lot going on. I don't understand what people don't get about Sascha Riley's account, this is so revealing. We've had a year to watch how these people get down. MAGA and the Republican Party, we've had a year. We see that the Supreme Court is backing all of this foolishness, and there's a big question, like, why? Part of the reason why is they're dealing with dangerous people. The other reason is money is involved. I think they've been paid. And the way that Sascha Riley explains all of this stuff to me is a picture of what's going on now with these rich, awful, powerful people who do what they want to do.
It's tough.
Yeah.
But,
Talk about malevolent hypocrisy. Dude, they were just utterly grotesque. They were trafficking you, they were assaulting you, they were drugging you, and then they were trying to
Assaulting, attacking, drugging children. Attacking, assaulting, drugging children. Rich people. Rich white people. Doing awful things to the innocent and the vulnerable, which are children. And then these people say they are eating cats and dogs. They who? The Haitians are eating cats and dogs? Well, what are you doing? And what have you done? This is the craziest shit I've ever heard of in my life. They are eating the cats and dogs. But what are you doing? What have you done? The same people. A lot of people don't want to look at this situation as it is, because everybody has been, no one was eating cats and dogs. That was a lie. Yes, it was a lie. But what I'm saying is, what did he do? What has he done? What has Lindsey Graham done? What have they done? What have they been a part of? What are they a part of now? We got this whole Epstein Island thing with all these horrific things on this island, and now we're listening to Sascha Riley and the farms? You got Epstein Island, you got the farms. You got what's been going on in D.C. for a year now, which is an equally awful picture. I don't know who is not able to read the writing on the wall. I don't get it. I don't. When we're looking at the ICE agents and what they did the other day, powwow, and they powwow someone since, and 3,000 more ICE agents were sent to Minnesota to further terrorize the people, just like the people terrorized the children on the farm. And you got grown people that still say that they support these awful monsters. And people come in my comment section and talk about, I don't enunciate words properly and I don't spell good. But I tell you what, I don't sexually assault. I don't beat. I don't rape. I don't do any of those things to children. How fucking dare those people? The DOJ ain't worth a fucking dime. The modern day FBI, trash. Because you got these people that are protecting these monsters and they have the nerve to talk about others? I don't get it. I don't get it. Zealous Max says, true, sure. I don't get it. The DOJ, the ones that have redacted the files, and the ones that know for sure what they did to the children on the island, and you have the fucking nerve, the FBI and the DOJ, to conceal it and hide it and try to prosecute others and talk about immigrants. What did during the campaign, what was one of the things that was said the most? They're raping women. The immigrants are sexually assaulting women, but you sexually assault children? You grab people by their pussy? We're going to send the immigrants out of here because they're bad people. No, you're a bad person. You and your people are the demons. So they knowing how awful they are, what the fuck do you really want? And why are you doing this? They are trying to get you off your square. F them, Cheryl. Oh, yes, I know. And they won't. This is crazy. They're eating cats and dogs. The Venezuelans people they are raping women in America while you rape women and children. God damn it. I can't. We're going to get back into the video. We're going to get back into the video, the audio. But you get up there and you run your goddamn mouth about what other people are doing, and you've done worse. And then the people around you say that, oh, hell, that person and that this person is great. Honey, it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people who are going to have to reconsider their choices and what they've done. Because as the truth comes out, and as this the truth be revealed, he is reflecting on his people. I know it.
If they were trying to make me feel guilty about
Psychologically torture you. Exactly. When you were in a situation because they were trafficking you.
The last encounter with Trump, the one where I injured him, was the one that I remember the most vividly.
Y'all listen to this. Oh my God.
This was the setup for that. I can remember my dad, before we went to the farm, this was when they lived in Enterprise, Alabama.
Yeah.
So it would have been about 81 to 82, somewhere in there. Maybe
Hey, Aaron.
maybe as late as 83. But he said there may be somebody that you know there. And I can remember the look on his face, and it scared the shit out of me. But anyway, when I got to the farm, of course, I'm scared at the farm because I don't know what's going to happen. But the first person that comes up to me is a girl named Patricia. This is a girl that I had been trafficked with before. And she came running up to me and said hello or whatever. She was about my same age, around 12 or 13. And I can remember my dad saying, well, why did you guys go run off and or whatever? And
Did we listen to this part last night, Linda, about he and the girl in the cabin? Because I think so, but I'm not sure. Because the audio that we were listening to, no. Okay, so let's listen. Listen, trigger warning right here. Trigger warning right here. This is deep, guys. And I don't want you to be further triggered. So if you are sensitive and you can't handle strong content, then just go to the next live. Okay? So, but we're going to really listen to what happened to Patricia or Samantha, one of them. Listen.
have fun. And I can Because I
Hey,
never,
Daisy.
not knowing what to do in that instance, because these parties weren't for me. I wasn't. And then he said something to the effect of, it's
You're
not
welcome.
like that for you anymore. You're a man now. You can just go out and have fun. Well, we went to go have sex. So we went and found a room and started having sex. And while we were having sex, people burst into the room. It would have been 4, 5, 6 guys, big guys, adults. At least one of them had a gun. I think 2 or 3 of them had guns. But they came in, they assaulted her, they beat on her, and then they shot her while she was still in the bed. They didn't beat or assault me, but what they said was, if you don't do everything that the next person coming in here wants, we're going to shoot you just like we did her. I can remember them having like an argument because they shot her in the bed and then they had to go find another mattress. Well, that's when Trump came in. So that's why I remember him so vividly. And it was at that point I had already decided they're probably just going to kill me anyway. I'm going to take him with me. And I tried, but I did not.
How did you? So obviously Trump was extremely violent. Trump's
Yes.
a sadistic psychopath. When Trump assaulted you, so sexual assault.
Can I get 8 people in this live to hit the share button and copy link for me so we can get some more people in here, please?
Physical assault?
Yes.
And
At that night,
Yes, he absolutely said that is when Trump came in. So before, let me just tell you what he said. His daddy told him that he and the girl could go and have fun and do whatever it is that they want to do. Because he was old enough now, so he'd give him the liberty or the freedom to go do that. So him and the girl went and found them a room and they started having sex. And so he said shortly thereafter, the men, I think he said 5 or 6 of them, bust into the room and they unalived her right there in front of him. So they took her out of the room, cleaned up while he being there in the room traumatized. And then they said to him, somebody is about to come in here with you. And if you don't do everything that they want you to do, we're going to do to you what we did to her. And then Trump comes in the room.
well,
This is what he's
I kind of
alleging.
acquiesced to whatever sexual things that he wanted to do, but at some point, he wanted me to have sex with him. So he laid down on his stomach, and there was a wooden tent stake that was in the room, and I had been eyeballing it as a weapon. And what I did was put the condom on the wooden tent stake, put it inside of him, and I kicked it as hard as I could. And that's why he had to get life flighted out, because I ripped him open.
Did y'all hear that? He said that Trump did some things to him, sexually assaulted him. And then he laid on his belly and he told him to do him. But he said at the time he had been eyeballing, because they had unalived Patricia. He had been eyeballing that stick over there in the corner. Because his thing was, I'm not going to let him unalive me. I'm going to take him with me, is what he said. So while Trump lay on his belly, he takes the stick, puts a condom on it, inserts it into him, and kicks it. They have to airlift him from the property. Listen.
Do you ever watch the movie The Equalizer?
Oh, boy.
No, I haven't seen it.
Denzel Washington, sort of like justice when everyone involved in American law enforcement can't get any justice.
Linda said, Lord have mercy. And you know, like he wears a diaper now. I'm sure that if that ever happened to him, that he has ongoing issues with his prostate. Oh my God.
That would be a sort of situation, obviously. I laughed because there's poetic justice there,
It is.
Sascha.
That was what facilitated that. Not only did I get really assaulted by Andy Biggs, I also got assaulted by like an entire party's worth of people. They took
After
Wait a
Trump
minute.
was airlifted out?
So y'all, he's getting ready to go through. So when he does that, and this is what he's alleging, and this video is for entertainment purposes only. You know what I mean? But so Trump gets airlifted, and I wonder if Trump know this person. What do you mean? What do you mean if he knows him? Of course he know him because he's his victim. What do you mean? Like, if he does he know that he's telling this story? He told this story. He's told this. It's been out for a good while, like years and years and years. Do he know he's telling this? Oh yeah, yeah. Of course. Wouldn't you know? Think that? Yeah, it's all over the internet. Absolutely. Yeah. And he is. Hey, Stacey Banks, and by the way, this, you know, Trump is an internet person. I mean, he stay online all night long, and I'm sure some of this stuff is on X, where he is all the time. Yeah, you never heard it before, but yeah, it's been out for years. It's been out for years, but now, you know, people didn't pay any attention to it because they was like, no, there's no way that this could have happened. But honey, we've had a whole year to see that these people give no fucks about nothing. They are lawless. They don't care anything about no constitution. They just unalive that girl, and the administration says there will be no investigation at all. But Minnesota said they are going to investigate. They are. They're going to bring state charges up against the man who powwowed Renee Good. But our administration said they don't care anything about Mrs. Good. She can die and go to hell all over again. They don't care. So we've had a whole year to watch how awful these people are. So now when we listen to this, it's not far-fetched to believe that this person did all of what he's accused of. Not only him, there are quite a few people. Thank you for the shares, y'all.
added a whole nother party. So they took me to another party after that, and because I had done that to one of those rich people, they took me from like station to station, and they could do whatever they wanted. Most of them just beat on me. I can remember me standing there and already gotten beaten up, you know, I don't know, 5-6 times, and I can remember somebody urinated on me, and I said, "Thank you for not hurting me," and he just hauled off and punched me in the side of the head and knocked me out. I can remember leaving that party.
Did y'all hear that? He had one man who urinated on him, and he said, "Thank you for not hurting me." And then he took something and hit him upside the head and knocked him out. Listen.
And my dad was just kind of dragging me out of there. It was another instance, just like with Andy Biggs, where I got beaten to the point where, you know, I was the ring was spinning. I was nauseous, probably throwing up, maybe some broken bones, badly.
And how many perpetrators did you say again? 20 to 40? 25 to 40 perpetrators?
people that were there, yeah, I would say probably 8 or 10 that just beat the absolute hell out of me. And some of them probably sexually assaulted me, but I can't remember. I can remember getting hurt, just getting beaten up and,
Was that before you tried to defend yourself from Trump or after? Do you remember?
That was after. That was
After.
as a punishment, if you want to call it that.
So after he had gone through all that stuff that he gone through with Trump, then there are other adults on the farm. And so then he has to be assaulted and beat up and whatever they want to do to him, he has to go through that too. And y'all, I keep saying this over and over and over again because it's really regular folk, it's really hard to believe that grown people who have children themselves, who have cousins, nieces, and nephews, could go to a designated place and treat children the way that these people did, according to Sascha Riley. It is hard to believe, but I do believe it. I do believe it. Ever since I heard about Epstein Island, and like I said, 10 years ago was the first time I heard anything about trafficking humans, children, sex trafficking children, was the first time I ever heard about it. And now we're hearing this stuff now. Do y'all know how bad it's got to be for us to be listening to something like this now? It's got to be way out of control. I was also looking at something, it was concerning Epstein and Ghislaine, and how she would groom the young girls, talk to their parents. Epstein would put them in school and get them an apartment. These people are so awful. But these are the stories that we heard prior to this. But we didn't hear about what they were doing on the farms with the really young kids. And not only did they sexually exploit them, they murdered them too.
That party was part of the punishment, and then I can remember them saying that this is the last step when I had to go see Andy Biggs. Andy Biggs almost fucking killed me. So I remember him.
So we did listen to this part last night, because I asked somebody a question about Andy Diggs, and then I think they told me that he's a senator. So we're gonna fast forward it because we want to hear some other parts, because it is 4 hours long, and God knows we can't be here for no 4 hours. So we're gonna fast forward it and see. You say you never heard this before? Oh my goodness. Let's see.
The horror of it, I guess.
And if y'all follow me on Facebook, you can go to my Facebook, and that's where I have the link there for this 4-hour interview, like every bit of it.
It seems like premeditated. Like, well, what I know of Trump is that Trump would attempt to premeditatedly stage such a scene to terrorize you retaliatorily.
Yes. So he wasn't there at that. I assuming that it was a close enough time frame that he was still recovering.
Yeah.
But I can remember that.
What's up, Killer?
My dad having the conversation with the people, because.
How you doing? It's been a long time. You doing all right? Honey child. This man know all about this man. And some people don't believe it, but I do. Let's go.
The level that they had kind of taken it to get me to that homicidal rage.
I'm doing good.
I remember my dad arguing that it was unreasonable. He said, this is just what happens when you push somebody far enough,
So then
an argument.
So then they took you to different locations, several groups at a time, tortured and assaulted you sexually, and then at one point you said they They
Hey,
hosed
Rico
you off with a
King.
garden hose. And what did they say
How you
again to your
doing?
dad? That you were dirty and to hose you off before they.
Yeah, they said he's disgusting. Just take a garden hose to him or something. And somebody.
So, I have a hard time listening to Sascha Riley call this man that adopted him dad. And I also have a hard time with Sascha Riley saying that these people had sex with him, but actually it's rape. And the man that adopted him, he calls dad, but he's not dad. He's a demon. Sascha is this is sad. Listen.
Went inside the house, got a bar of soap, and I remember they threw it at me and hit me in the head, and that they all thought that was funny, and I was struggling because I had to get the soap from the ground, and I can remember being hit to the point where I was just having trouble grasping the soap. Not just from the standpoint of like being able to see it, but like from the coordination aspect of it. Mm-hmm. Just because I've been hitting the head and body and everything so much that I even had difficulty in getting the soap. So they made me like take a shower while they stood there with the garden hose just hosing me off. I can remember getting real cold from that. But then it wasn't over. That would have been about the halfway point.
And you said it was sexual assault followed by beatings in all of those cases.
Yes. Some people didn't even want to sexually assault me. Some people just wanted to beat the hell out of me. So not all of them, they got to do whatever they wanted, but with all of the different people, they included some sort of physical assault. Physical and sexual assault, just the physical.
Hello, Maurice.
There weren't any instances of just sexual assault.
But this my thing is, why in the hell do these people want to beat a child black and blue? Like, what kind of gratification comes from this? And that's why I told y'all last night in the live that we did last night. Sociopaths, psychopaths, narcissists, these people get pleasure from doing this to children because children are innocent and vulnerable, and it's empowering to them. But it's a thought that I have to share with y'all at the end of this live, and I want to know what you guys think about it. It's not just because no, I'm not gonna gold 40, I'm not going with that. I've been hurt too. I've suffered childhood trauma too. I've seen some shit in my life too, as an also. Hurt people is not going to cut it for this.
It was all causing damage to me, and towards the end of it, I can remember my dad saying he can't take anymore and die.
Yeah.
And at that point he had like drugged me because I couldn't walk or anything to one of the groups, and they said if he can't take anymore, it's not over with. You're gonna have to take the rest of it. And he said, fine, because I'm gonna go to jail to kill Eddie. So they beat the absolute hell out of him too.
Oh my God!
Okay.
I can
they beat his dad.
My dad kind of carried me away from the last.
I understand.
Group of people, and I think he had to change or something for me, and it took a lot, like 30 minutes or something, but I finally got through enough I could breathe and everything, to where I walked out of there with help.
And then is that when they took you to Andy Biggs? Where Andy Biggs tortured and raped you?
Thereafter, and not immediately thereafter, but another week or two passed, maybe a month, week, two, whatever. I was healed as far as my most of my bruises and stuff like that from the first farm incident by the time I went to Andy Biggs. And of the physical assaults, it's the worst. He kept beating me until my ribs are broken. I've started blue convulsing. You get beaten enough as you try to breathe, you just kind of click. I can't describe it any other way than that. It's not even a weak or anything, but your like diaphragm or something locks up and you just start clicking. Some people call that like the death rattle.
Yeah.
That's what she do, to where when I would try to breathe, my chest would just make this clicking noise. I don't know how to describe it.
No, you described that extremely, extremely clearly. Like I say, I appreciate your forthrightness. Now, you and I had spoken, and you said that your dad told you that after the incident with Andy Biggs, that your dad said that Trump and Trump's associates said that whatever debt they thought you owed because you fought back against Trump, that the debt was paid. And the debt was you getting raped and beaten brutally by all those individuals, including Andy Biggs.
Hey, Monique. God knows it's been a long time since I've seen you.
You don't recall attending any more parties after that. And
how you
weren't
doing?
sure because they thought you aged out because you were 12 or 13, or whether they just thought you were too much of a hassle.
So she's saying that they believe that that he aged out because he was 12 or 13. So when we talk about children, when we're referencing children, we mean children. Children, not teenagers. Children. When you think about Epstein Island, you think of teenagers, young teenagers. We're talking about children, adolescents.
They could get caught.
Let's see.
I think all of that came into play.
Y'all, we got about
They
10 more
might
minutes.
want to behave vindictive towards your dad about whatever money your dad was earning. Do you think that?
I couldn't speak any of that part. I'm not even sure like the financial arrangements or anything like that.
Yeah.
I can remember that when they sent me to the brothel, they were upset that they didn't make me money. And then I can remember Lynn being absolutely furious because they were going to get this big payday for doing the child porn in Tennessee, but they wound up losing money on the deal because they got stiffed by whoever bought the film when it was done, and they had.
I'm just curious. I'm curious because I've never seen child porn in my life. Never. So I'm curious about people making so much money from naked children. And who in the world, who are these people who watch it? Are they people who have gone through it themselves? Is it men, old men that are very attractive and can't get a woman? Or like, what is it? And for people to make that much money from it. I just feel like there should be laws, really, really rigid laws, severe punishment for this. What's up, Taz? How you doing? Severe. Like, if I feel like the iPhone and the Android or any phone company should have a feature on the phone, iPad, anything, even televisions, that if any of that comes across it, then authorities show up at your door and you go to a place where you get extensive counseling, where you're not able to have a device, and where you are monitored for the rest of your life. In my opinion, that's the kind of justice that I would like to see happen from this. Because listening to this Epstein story, and then Sascha Riley's story, and then knowing how awful those rich people in DC are, and that murder is what they like, pain and suffering of people is what they covet, and they are accused of doing these horrible things to children, then we need laws to change. We need stiff sentences, and we need rigid, rigid laws. And I mean, to take their freedoms away. You cannot trust, hey Sierra, Boo, it's people that want to be powerful in all aspects. Nuts, yes. Rigid laws. I'm talking about rigid laws. They have a lot of monitoring systems, but they can't catch them all. No, they can. They can. They can if they wanted to, if they cared enough about it. But the problem is that these powerful people that own this kind of stuff, they don't want to do that because it keeps their profit margin down. They want to make as much money as they can make. It's all about the money. They don't, this whole thing about children being exploited sexually and even unaliving them and filming them, and all of this stuff is really about money. We are just, I tell you, we are just, as human beings, it's awful. It's so bad. You know what I mean? And I just feel like, since a lot of this has to do with film, because back in those days, so there are cameras, so they're filming it. And so maybe they were on what, DVDs? It was like DVDs or what, CDs that the people were looking at it on, or computers, like PCs. It's just crazy. And I want to say that it's mostly men, but some women are involved too. Because Ghislaine, I mean, come on, that was a woman. And she was attacking the girls. And then Sascha Riley is saying that women are on the farm too. The same people who make laws are involved in these atrocities. It's like asking Lucifer for a favor. I know, Trevor. But there are people there who are not involved. And something needs to be done about this. It is so scary to me, in closing, how vulnerable children are. It's scary. Because if you think women are vulnerable too, but we can have these, and we can have those, and we can have tasers, we can do those things. Children physically just cannot protect themselves for the most. They just can't. They're not big enough, strong enough, smart enough. Can't. The adoption agencies and how people go and adopt children to do these things to them. Their hands are tied, scared for their safety. Well, that's no. We need courage. You know, that is not okay. Hey Cheryl in chat, I'm in the building. What's up, Benny White, McCoy? It is not okay. People don't care. One of the guys, one of my coworkers, he and I were talking, and he said, I made a comment about seeing lots of homeless families live inside of the Salvation Army, and it broke my heart. And he told me that morning he had gone to the social services department, and he said that there were over 200 children in the building there, and they were allowing most of the children, ICE had taken the families. So those children were black and brown children. And he said he sat there long enough, because he was there to pick up a couple of kids, to see a couple of families show up to take the children. And he said that the families were being compensated to take the children, and they were white families. And he said he cried. He said he called his sister, because his sister is a politician, and then she knows a lot of pastors. And he told me, he said, contrary to what you might believe, a lot of these people who are in high positions in Raleigh, they already know what's going on. And he said they're not doing anything about it. And so what I'm saying is, we have the wrong people that are in charge. We do. Because there's no way. Can y'all imagine me working that close to that type of injustice, and I work there and I see it? Do y'all know me? My internal GPS wouldn't even, the fear wouldn't even register in me. The fear would be completely gone. My compassion and my sense of justice for what is right and wrong would override the fear. Ain't no fucking way. There's no way. And I'm not the only person like this. There are lots of people just like me. But we're not in those positions up there where those people are. The ones that are there, if they're scared, get the fuck out the way. Because I'm not scared. And lots of other people that I know are not either. The sad part about it, hey JC, the sad part about it is that we have people that are in these positions that they are working, and they're supposed to be advocating for children, and they don't give a fuck about kids. It was never about the kids to begin with. It's about money. What's up, Regina? It's about money, and it's about status, and it's about feeling important and being around important people. They don't give a fuck about the kids. Just like the ones in Washington. That is awful, says here. Something needs to be done. They should undergo protocols for custody, definitely to ensure the child's safety. They don't care about that. And like I said this morning on the live that I did this morning, when it comes to mental health, the same fucking thing. You got the wrong people that work in the mental health field. Now, you got some good ones in there now. Let's not Get it twisted. You got some fantastic people that work in the field, but you got them ones that have taken those high seats and those high positions with all those degrees that did it from day one for the fucking money. They never cared. And so when it comes down to creating policies and doing things to ensure that the children are safe, the fucking problem is not that the information that they have learned and obtained, they have that. It's not that they don't have the right credentials. They have that. It's what they don't have is a fucking heart, and they don't really care. They don't have that. Katrina said, amen, Cheryl, speak the truth. This is the problem. And like I said in the other live that I did, there's got to be some kind of system that makes sure, like I said, mental health is everything nowadays. It's everything. I don't want to deal with a doctor who is suffering from narcissism, right? And I'm laying on the table, and I need somebody who has the right heart and the right energy, not somebody that's operating on me that don't give a fuck. I don't need that. And when I need the best lawyer in the courtroom, I need an empathetic lawyer, somebody that's gonna put their heart into it. I need that. I don't need the narcissist. I don't need the narcissism. That's gonna hinder me. I don't want that. And when it comes to these children, you got these narcissistic parents and these fucking folks that adopt these kids that they are monsters from the fucking beginning. But however, they put on the face and the facade and the voice, and they're able to get through those channels and get to their get to the children to explore them and do whatever they want to do it. My God, I just, I talk to you guys about my childhood, but nowadays my childhood was fucking great compared to what I hear that these people are going through right now. These children. This man has such a horrible story. It is so bad. It hurts. And I'm sick of it. I saw that. JC. I saw that. And he called him a pedophile, and he gave him the middle finger. Because he don't give a fuck. He didn't then, and he doesn't now. When that man called him a pedophile, he called it right. He knows that he's one, but he don't give a fuck. Because his friends are pedophiles too. They all lick baby pussy and they feel like it's okay. They all do it. They all do it. They're not going to hang around with each other. They're not going to let you get close to them if you don't touch baby pussy too. They're not doing that. They need you to touch it too. They need you to smell it too. They need you to be a part of it too, because they're not going to trust you. So when you see those circles, just understand that those are pedophilia circles. And they love to do horrible things to children. So in my conclusion, let me just tell you this. So Candace Owens said, and I just want to say this. I don't care too much for Candace Owens, because Candace Owens, and I told y'all this before, to me, she has borrowed a white woman's persona 1000%. I don't mind Candace Owens being educated and articulate, because she is both. I don't mind that. Oprah Winfrey is that. Gail is that. Michelle Obama is that. And lots of other black women are that. They are very smart and very articulate. I don't have a problem. Oprah Winfrey is one of the most smartest black women out here today, but she sounds like a black woman. Michelle Obama is one of the sharpest knives in the drawer, but she sounds like a black woman. Gail is very smart. She sounds like a black woman. Candace Owens has borrowed the persona of a white woman, and I don't like that. I don't like it at all. But anyway, so I'm not a fan of Candace Owens. But Candace Owens talked about the why. And I was like, oh my God, Sierra, Katrina, Linda. I've been asking myself the question, why are they doing this? Why are they going to farms? Why are they pimping children out? Why are they harming children? Why are they exploiting children? Why are they unaliving children? Why are they doing that? And Candace Owens said, it's a ritual. Because I've been asking why. I mean, if you really think about it, there has to be a why. A ritual? What kind of ritual? A ritual that says, Katrina says they are evil. The ritual says, because I felt like there's some type of ideology, philosophy behind it, some type of information written down. There's something, there's a theme. So she says it's a ritual. And what the ritual is encouraging them to, it's saying that if you hurt the innocent, if you make the innocent fear, and if you hurt them, I'm talking about all the ways that these people have hurt them, then you yourself become a god. But you have to take their innocence away from them in the worst way. And I said, oh my God. I was thinking about Oprah Winfrey's spiritual mentor. He got 99 years for the exploitation of children, child trafficking, and all of that. And she doesn't talk about it. But she was on the island, and I wonder whether or not he was on there. We got the island, we got the farms, we got children on both. We got drugs, we got guns, we got child trafficking. It's the whole thing. You got money, big time money. Because Sascha Riley said on the farms, they paid his father for doing certain terrible things to him. There was a price on what they did to the children, and they were rich and they were willing to pay the money. But they were looking to become ultra rich and to become a god themselves. So in order to do that, you've got to take the innocence. You've got to hurt, sometimes unalive. Because Sascha Riley said they were killing the children. Katrina says, but also they destroy generations, and that brings profits that they benefit from. Oh my God. Why would Oprah be on the island and she is a molestation victim? I don't know. It bothers me. It bothers me. They also said that Michael Jackson was in the files. I don't know what he did or anything, but I do know that Michael Jackson had childhood trauma. I do know that. I know that Michael Jackson did not, he was never in a real relationship. And I'm scared that Michael Jackson, I'm just going to tell you how I think. I'm sorry. But this is way before this. I've been saying this years ago. I just believe that all humans are sexual beings. And if you don't have a woman or man that you deal with, then your preference could be children. I'm sorry. But that's how I see it. Everyone on the island needs to be investigated and held accountable for these despicable acts. They really do. You can go that high without getting your hands dirty. Are you asking a question or that's a statement? You believe that you can go that high without getting your hands dirty? Katrina? Um, I just don't know. Yes. So that's a statement. So you believe that you can go that high without getting your hands dirty. Um, I don't know. I wish she would talk about her mentor because that is awful. Because he got in trouble over there in Africa, and it was associated with her school, the human trafficking. What in the fuck is going on with this trafficking people? Is there that much money to be made? It's another world, y'all. It's not our world. But I mean, for lots of common people like Sasha Riley, that's Riley's world. Epstein's victims, that is their life. Maybe you can, but more than likely, you know what's going on, so you're at least complicit. I believe that for sure. I really do, because I just don't believe. I don't believe that they didn't know it all. Even if there were rumors, why do you want to be associated? And now, and now, go ahead. And now I'm done with it. And now everybody is so quiet. Everybody's so quiet, including Bill and Hillary Clinton. Sasha Riley mentions Bill Clinton and saying that while he was there on the farm, he remembers him. Now, my thing is this. Why the fuck are you on that farm, Bill Clinton? You were already in the Oval Office getting a blowjob. Could you imagine Obama doing that? And that's why I say, we saw the photos of Bill Clinton in that pool over there at the Epstein Island. Did y'all see that? And I'm just saying, Benny McCoy said, it's a shame. Bill said, show the tape. Now I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you why, Linda, I believe Bill said, show the fucking tape. Because he's saying, okay, I was there. I did some shit that I wasn't supposed to do. But everybody know the level of horror that you, Mr. President, did on the island. Now show the motherfucking tapes. That's what I believe he said, and that's how I believe he said it. Show the tapes. Because Epstein said that he was a monster, and so did Sasha Riley. Yeah, Nanny United, what's up? Yes, you said it's another world we are now seeing. And honey, yes, show the motherfucking tapes. Yes, exactly. Bill Clinton told him to release the files and Trump got quiet. See? Because that is, in my opinion, that's the way that he's saying it. Yeah, I'm in there. I did some shit. But show the goddamn tapes because you know what you did. But Bill, there again. So we want to say, like, why do we feel like Trump, why would you want to be president? I guess because Bill was. Bill was president. He was fucking around too. Man, Lord have mercy, Jesus. I cannot. We are truly living in the twilight zone, child, honey. And I'm tired. I'm tired. I don't think Bill played with kids. Why not, Linda? Ruby said Trump didn't bank on this. Linda, why not, baby? Why not? Tell me the truth. Why not? He already is lacking morals, and he already. Sasha Riley said he was on the farm. You don't believe Sasha? We already seen him on Epstein Island. We already know what Monica Lewinsky did. We already know that. So he already got 2 strikes. Why don't you believe it? There's something really spooky about um his wife. I just don't have any proof. You don't want it to be true about Bill. I believe it. I believe he did it. You just don't. Okay. Okay, so we're at odds right there because I do believe that he did that. Him saying release the tapes, it's not saying I didn't do it and you gonna prove me innocent if you release. That's not what the fuck he's saying. He's saying I bet you won't release some motherfucking tapes because you can't release them. In releasing the tapes, you gonna tell on yourself because we know how awful you is and what you have done. That's what he's saying. Release the tapes. I would too. If I was him, I'd have said the same thing. So what? Trump busted in dressing rooms and bragged about it. He did way more than that. What, Benny McCoy? Okay, Linda, listen, girl. You know I love you, girl, because you been here with me, girl. But these people are awful. They're monsters. It's not a joke. I'm not giving none of them the benefit of the doubt. I can't do that. These Epstein victims, they've been hurt. It is terrible to hear these people's stories. There was one girl, she was gonna jump into the ocean. And Sasha Riley said on the tape that I believe he said Samantha. I think he said not Patricia, but Samantha told one of the other girls go on and powwow her. She said, I can't do this anymore. Can you imagine being 12 years old and going through some stuff that these people go through? I couldn't even handle it now at my age. You are correct. I don't put anything past these people. I cannot give these folks the benefit of doubt. Ain't no way. They're not going to get it from me. Not even Bill. Sorry. No, because he's already a creep. We see that with Monica Lewinsky. There is no way that that man should be in that White House doing such a thing. No, no way at all. And then he lied. Do you remember how bad he lied? And he said he didn't do it. And then to see him over there, in the pool, over there at the Epstein Island chilling. Oh my God. With those children, him and Ghislaine in the pool. What do you think him and Ghislaine were doing? She was a sophisticated monster. A woman going and grooming little girls, 12, 13, and 14, for a big grown ass man, knowing that when he get them by themselves. That girl said, one of the victims said, I never forget it because I listened to her testimony, but she said that while she was giving him the massage and he had talked to her about her family, about her dad and the relationship, the broken relationship with her and her dad and everything like that. She said she was massaging him, but when she finished the massage and he turned around, she said he was a monster. His whole countenance had changed. They ate those children up. And we're not just talking about girls because Sasha Riley is a boy, but I had already told y'all because Darren Monroe, who's a content creator on YouTube, he talked about some lawsuits that had been filed against Trump concerning boys. Congress is afraid. I know that. Sure, I have been on a lot of this for years. I don't know everything, but I'm not one that just accuse people. Linda, but he was there. It's not like somebody said that he was there. He was. We saw. You didn't see the photos of Bill Clinton on Epstein Island. You didn't see those photos. I'm just asking. Did you see the photos of him in the pool on the Epstein Island? You don't think that Bill Clinton knew what Epstein was doing? Those lawsuits should be public information. Yes, but I'm asking you, did you see him in the pool on the Epstein Island on the files? Did you see that? Because I saw it. Him and Ghislaine Maxwell. They both were in the pool together. Did you see that? So anyway, y'all, kisses and hugs. Thank y'all for coming in tonight. This was who was the Eho said her uncle was there. Wait a minute. With the in the ocean. I don't understand that. I saw that. I said I don't know about minor children. What do you mean you don't know about minor children? On Epstein Island? The youngest girl was reported to be 14, but the police report said that she was 12, but they didn't want to put that out there at the time. 12-year-old. The youngest girl from the Epstein Island. But it's reported that those children were even younger. And Sascha Riley's story is showing us that. Because he talked about being 11, 12, 13. And 12, 14 is young enough for Epstein at the time to be what? How old was he at the time? What, 30 something? Did you see those little girls? And they were, okay, so what's that little girl that got missing? And it was a international case. Like, people knew about this little girl all over the world. What was her name? Was it Eric? What was her name? I cannot call her name for nothing. Beautiful little girl. And somebody came into the house and took her out the house. And they've done countless police shows. Hey, Poopy Pie. Eric Baudet. Yeah, that's her. Is that how you pronounce the Baudet? Probably not. Ramsey. Joan Bonet Ramsey. Her. She ties into Epstein Island. She's in the Epstein files. She's in there. Because what was she? She was a pageant girl. Linda, what are you talking about? Yes, she was Ruby Tuesday, 863. She's in Epstein files. Wasn't she a pageant child? And doesn't her timeline do the math on when all of that happened to her and when Epstein Island was going on, and Trump and him in the beauty pageants with the young girls and the teenagers. They did all kind of pageants. They done tied that baby into that Epstein Island. She was unalived in her parents' basement. Now look at who the judges for the pageants were. Now look at who the judges for the pageants were. They blamed her brother. They said that child, that they were selling that little girl, just like Sascha Riley selling that little girl. Because look, Sasha Riley was not the only child that was being pimped out. They're pimping out children. Parents are being paid for their children. Y'all, it's so bad. I understand everybody's like, oh my God. But I know it's so bad, but these people are doing that. She was wearing a lot of makeup at such a young age. Wasn't Dump famous for hosting Miss America? They found the murderer. He was a handyman. That's a lie. That's not true. It's not true. They'll probably go back and redo everything. She was a pageant girl and all of that, and it's just a lot, y'all. So what everybody is saying, this is what everybody is saying now. It's coming to the light now. It's a sex ring, and it's children. Sasha Riley told us on the videos that he and Patricia and Samantha and another girl, and two of those girls passed away. They were exploiting the children and they were unaliving the children. And they did it for sport and they did it for ritual's sake. The parents were paid. We're talking about folks who flew those children. Listen, not only was Sasha, it's just terrible. Not only was Sasha Riley assaulted on the farms, they would eventually fly him to other places and other countries for other people to assault him as well. Just like the girls on Epstein Island. Y'all remember? The victims. They told y'all, what's her name? Virginia Dupree. She was telling everybody that she traveled with them places on the airplane. And look, they're talking about the pilots and the people that flew the planes. There are lots of different people that helped them do what they did, y'all. This was a tight-knit circle. You know what I'm saying? But by using planes and helicopters, and especially, they have brought the military in on it because ain't nobody gonna check the military planes. They can do what they want. The infant Cheryl acting up with all this knowledge. I will do my research on Sasha Riley. Please do, Linda. Please do. Because we're going to talk some more. Sadly, it's common for the parents to be in on CSA of their own child, whether doing it or arranging others to do it. Well, you know what, Poopy Pie, it's new to me. Because I swear, since I've been dealing with this shit, I'm like, now I know damn well this is not happening for real. Haven't heard anything about them. These airplanes, these military planes, y'all, they're very much saying that this cover up is big and that they are sort of kind of accusing the military and the police being in on it. Look how long it's been happening. Look how long they did it. And these people are traveling. And not only the travel in the military planes, not only that, but the money that is being paid to Epstein, the money laundering. In high school, when I was studying early childhood education, the teacher would have us do weekly write-ups on childhood abuse going on to help us identify it. The military and the police is looking for action. No one will tell because they are afraid of their own family and children. No, people are going to tell. They're following the money trail now. They got big bankers in on this, y'all. This is terrible. Like, this is terrible. Too often, parents, especially addicts, would sell their kids for a fix. Now, listen, Poopy Pie. Now I gotta go back and correct myself. Now, I met two black women in my lifetime who told me, both did, that their mothers pimped them out, and both of their mothers were addicts, right? But these are poor people, single moms struggling, right? And then we had a case here not too long ago where a woman let a drug dealer take her daughter and he ended up unaliving her. This is a big case that was on the news. Those are the three stories that I've heard of, but I didn't know that you got multimillionaires and billionaires and a whole society of people that do this to girls all over the world. I didn't know that. I remember when the Department of Justice went after the Brotherhood of Bankers. These were bankers from across the world. I'm telling you, y'all, it's a lot going on. And they know the unsavory crowd who would participate. Yes. Yeah. It's a lot. And also, for another layer, when we get ready to get out of here, for another layer, they're saying that Charlie Kirk and Erica Kirk ties into it too. When Erica Kirk had a ministry in another part of Romania, that's where it was. Let me write that down because I'll forget it. I'll forget it. Romania. When Erica Kirk was in Romania with her ministry, and those children came up missing because it was alleged that they were child trafficked. I can't even traffic child traffic it. I don't know how to pronounce. But anyway, when that was happening, she herself, Erica Kirk, trafficking, thank you. She ties back to Epstein Island too. Erica Kirk. Okay, found it on a podcast that I trust. Okay. All right. This woman ain't lying to y'all. So it all ties back into Erica Kirk. Erica Kirk, woo. And they are saying too that Charlie Kirk, this is not what I'm saying, but they saying that he was about to be investigated like Diddy from all of this child trafficking, Erica Kurt in Romania, and Epstein Island, and all of this stuff in Turning Point. It's all mixed in and about to be sent to jail. And they believe that, oh my God, Erica's mother is tied in too. I hadn't heard that. It's going to be a lot of people involved. Watch. I believe it, Benny McCoy. I really do. But for the life of me, Benny, and I'm trying to stay poised and keep my emotions under control because y'all know they'll get out of order. Y'all know that. But what I'm saying is, what fucking gives them the right to take people's children and do what they want? Yes, it is. No, 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 no. We're living in the time of Aquarius. Something is going to happen, y'all. No, no, no. Please don't believe that. No, no, no. All of this stuff being revealed and all of these people all over the world knowing that this is going on, and you got some really smart uh, re, uh, uh, some really smart people who are not going to give up on this situation, and they won't stop until it comes to light and it is dealt with. Oh, I keep telling y'all that. This is what happens. You don't even need a whole bunch of people. You just need a couple of people who won't stop and won't let it go. That's all you need to bring the whole house of cards down. That's exactly what happened to bin Laden, and that's exactly what happened to Saddam Hussein and lots of other people who thought that they were bigger than the world. And the whole situation was bigger and tighter and stronger. And before you know it, life had its way and took them down. They are coming down. Absolutely. Absolutely. Watch and see. Natalia Grace's orphanage in Romania conveniently burned down and records destroyed once they started reporting on it. Dang. They come in peace and prosperity. Look what was promised. Oh my God. Human trafficking don't just involve transportation of people from here to there. Organs are involved on the black market. I did mention that already. All of that's tying back to the island too. There are some big dogs, some big paychecks, some big payouts, and a whole trail of big money going on. Y'all, Lord have mercy. On that note, we getting ready to go. It's too much. It's too much. That low key could be mix MV branding. Nix MV branding. What that mean? Help me out. What's up, Ruby Tuesday? What does that mean? It was a cult. And that's why we were talking about the ritual earlier. This idea that if you hurt the innocent, then you become a god. So is Turning Point a cult or not? Is Turning Point a cult or not? I ain't no fucking way I would go no Turning Point. Erica Kurt, something is wrong with her for sure. It is a sad situation. But anyway, y'all, I love y'all. And I would say I will see y'all tomorrow. I think so, but I'm not completely sure. But anyway, kisses and hugs. Y'all do some research. Linda, do your research, girl. And I'll see you on the next live, okay? Bye, guys. Thank you, Poopy Pie and Taz and Linda and everybody else. Sierra, thank you so much. Good night, guys. Make sure you like the stream on the way out. Please do. I'll see you later, Linda. Thank you.